With tragic passings and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. For those that watch Smackdown through DirecTV, Fox noted how DirecTV could be looking to drop the station from their packages, writing, "Fox remains committed to reaching a fair agreement with DirecTV for the continued distribution of our networks. Despite our best efforts for months, we regret that DirecTV continues to demand unprecedented special treatment that represents a wholesale change to our long-standing relationship and is out of step with marketplace terms. As such, we are compelled to alert viewers who are DirecTV Stream and Uverse subscribers that they could lose access to their favorite Fox programming beginning at midnight December 2nd, including the NFL on Fox, the Big Ten College Football Championship on Fox, the FIFA World Cup on Fox and FS1, Fox Local News, and more." According to Sports Illustrated, WWE is holding a 2-day tryout on Wednesday at the IMG Academy, as James Kimball said this about it. "There are countless examples of top talent that came into the business via college sports, but there hasn't always been a system built out. That's what we're trying to create here, a true talent development pathway into WWE for college athletes. We want a clear calendar. Moving forward, we're going to emulate what we've done in 2022. It's really important there is a schedule, as college athletes have so many options. For wrestlers on the independents, that system is in place and that pathway to WWE is well known, so our resources are allocated to building a new pathway to collegiate sports. We're just scratching the surface. We've been working on this for a year, and it's going to take years, but we're growing. We're adding quality and depth, and the work is just starting with college athletes nationwide." When it comes to a roster shakeup, Ringside News reported that WWE has a lot going on, but we were told that the WWE draft still being discussed as to when is best to do it. At this time, they do not have a solid date nailed down just yet. With the Bloodline getting the win over the weekend at Survivor Series, costume designer Sarah Ton explained why Roman Reigns did not end up wearing red like his teammates. "The Bloodline, I did all the red. You will notice that there was one member of the Bloodline who wasn't in red, and that's not because it wasn't made. It was because the fabric texture wasn't what he thought it was going to be. He put it on to see how it felt. At the end of the day, he's the tribal chief. He gets to do what he wants. It would have been cool if they were all dressed in red, but at the same time, he does his thing, and you're following him." In a video posted to Instagram, The Rock decided to give back to a 7-Eleven he used to steal from as a kid. Here's the clip.
"I have been waiting decades to do what I'm getting ready to do now. Hey, where's your Snickers?" When I was 14 years old, every day I used to stop here at this 7-Eleven and steal a king-size Snicker bar because I couldn't afford to buy one. That was my pre-workout food. I did that for almost a year every day. I had to come back and buy every Snickers bar on those shelves. What's your name? BK. Ring all these up. BK's like... I used to steal a Snickers every day.
We're doing that.
I gotta come back and I have to buy them, you know what I mean? DK's look, listen, I'm trying to count all this shit. I don't need to hear your stories. Go tell Oprah. What do you got? I got it. Come on.
Oh my God, appreciate it.
You're welcome. What you got, big brother? Come on. You want anything? You got anything?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
This dude. How much? $2.98. Yeah. That's just for you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm gonna leave these here. If somebody looks like they're stealing Snickers, give them these so they don't steal it. Thank you. After decades, I am behind. Come on over here. Let's take a picture.
I gotta go. The Rock is here. Bye.
After decades of me wanting to come back home to 7-Eleven and try and make good, that felt really, really good. I'm out. Snickers and 7-Eleven.
Calling a prank pulled on a former WWE superstar, Road Dogg noted how Lio Rush was tricked into sitting in Vince McMahon's chair. I like Lio Rush a lot. I worked with him in NXT. I really like the kid, and he loves the wrestling business. He's a great kid and a great worker, and does some incredible things in a wrestling ring. One time, I came up to sit in my chair for Smackdown, and Vince wasn't there at the time. And sitting in the chair that I would sit in, that is Vince's, is Lio Rush. It turns out some guys ribbed him and told him to sit there. I felt bad, and he was so apologetic. Talking about potentially having a career in pro wrestling, the son of Chris Jericho, Ash Irving, told Jim Barcelone during an interview that it's not even an acquired taste, but it's always been something I like to think about. I think deep down, I know it's just not for me. And my grandpa played hockey, my dad does wrestling, and I'm not going to do either. I'm going to do my own thing, you know? Chris Jericho's birthday was November 9th, and everyone was singing him happy birthday in all the stadiums. It was very crazy to see all of that. Just the respect he commands after doing what he's been doing for so long, and it's easy to look up to him for me because he does all this insane crazy stuff that I just sit at home and watch and take for granted because that's what's been going on for my entire life. He's been doing it for 30 years and I take what he does for granted, but he is truly one of the greatest of all time in wrestling, and I hope he gets his respect from the wrestling community when he's finally wrapped it up. I don't know when that will be, hopefully not for a long time, but yeah, it's always fun to watch AEW and see him out there, or my friends will tell me they saw an AEW commercial, my dad was on it. That's always funny. Speaking about the ramifications of Triple H being in charge of WWE creative, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful reported that with WWE delivering strong quarterly numbers, everything seems safe for the company in a post-Vince McMahon world. However, the backstage morale has improved significantly. Speaking with members of the locker room over the last several months, the culture has been changed based on those that were willing to speak on it. Almost everyone said that going to work was much more fun and easygoing compared to the Vince McMahon era, with one saying there isn't a perpetual fear of getting fired for things you can't control. Another noted there are still some talent that aren't being used effectively, but that it's a vast improvement over where things were in the summer. The creative input and ability to improvise more was also touted. There was a huge contrast drawn to the 2022 Royal Rumble. Numerous talent that we spoke with looked back at that point as near an all-time low for them in the company. From a creative satisfaction and booking standpoint to losing faith in Vince McMahon as a creative force and a leader in some sense. One that said that they thought they would always maintain faith in Vince to some degree had it eroded from that show. Compared to the last several months, there still is optimism of Triple H's booking and creative despite there being some hiccups. In a post on Twitter, the Nature Boy Ric Flair can be seen having a good time at a bar in Tampa. Here's the video.
Where's your dad, boy? Film the whole thing. To America. Turn it on. Turn it on.
It's on.
To American Social. Tampa, Florida. Who living large? Drinking pickleback. With the most beautiful bartender in all of Tampa.
Yeah.
Woo!
Hey, we gotta cheer that.
With Randy Orton having undergone fusion surgery on his back, his father and WWE Hall of Famer Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. gave an update on his son, telling KNS WrestleFest that Randy's coming along. I see him maybe once a week or so, but he's coming along. He'll be back in there before you know it. In some unfortunate news, the brother and niece of Mickie James passed away in a car accident, as the star wrote on Twitter. Thank you everyone for the love and the messages. It's warmed my heart. Please continue to pray Wayne's wife, Christy Knuckles. She is still in serious condition in the hospital. She lost both her husband, my brother, and her 16-year-old daughter in the accident. I can't imagine. Also for the parents of her daughter's best friend, who was only 15. They had just picked her up and were taking the girls to school. My heart is broken for them, as I don't know what I would do, think, or even feel. I am sending so much strength, healing, and love. Lastly, please lift up the driver of the other vehicle who hit them. Thankfully, he is okay, but mentally and emotionally, I'm sure is devastated. I hope he knows and forgives himself. It wasn't your fault. There was nothing you could do. It was an accident, a tragic accident. Of course, we wish Mickie and her family all the best during this time. With him recently noting that William Regal still has many months left on his AEW deal, Dave Meltzer would clarify these comments, taking to Twitter to write a correction from last night's show regarding Regal's deal. Based on what he said when he signed, his deal signed last spring was for 3 years. Speaking to Steve Fall of 10 Count, former WCW President Eric Bischoff talked about CM Punk possibly making a WWE comeback. As he said, I don't think it would be. I think CM Punk shit the bed. When Tony Khan brought CM Punk into AEW, he still had that mystique, the pipe bomb mystique. He was this character that stood up to McMahon and then walked away. There's a rebellious quality in that character that I think the average American admires. So Punk had this mystique and still had his fan base, and Tony Khan was able to take advantage of that. Over a very short period of time, that mystique began to just dissipate. It was like letting the air out of the balloon a little bit more each and every week. CM Punk came in and great ratings, and then literally the next week started in a free fall back down to pre-Punk levels. You look at where AEW is in terms of week-to-week ratings, which is the only thing we have to measure that's public because the financial information is all private. We don't really hear anything about the real financial information. We just get the top line stuff. Ratings are the data that we have that we can go, okay, this is where this product is going. Flatline. Shortly after CM Punk got there, flatlined to pre-Punk levels, and I think that a lot of that has to do with people came, they were excited because of the aura and the mystique, they saw and they went, not so much, a little bit, but nothing special. Then for Punk to conduct himself in the manner in which he did, I think it left a bad taste in not only the fans' mouths, but why would anybody want to hire a guy that's willing to, live, publicly disparage the guys that's writing him a check every week? And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.